The deadly truth about asbestos tiles, the century killer hidden in buildings. Those weathered asbestos tiles in front of you may hide a killer more lethal than arsenic. When they weather and crack, they release fibers 500 times thinner than a human hair. These invisible steel needles, at a rate of 300 million per square meter, claim 300,000 lives worldwide each year. The lethal component of asbestos tiles, nature's most hidden killer. 1.1 Microscopic death darts. The core component of asbestos tiles is serpentine asbestos fibers, with physical properties that subvert understanding. Diameter of only 1 m, 1/500th of a human hair, 50 m. Capable of penetrating nasal defenses directly. Serrated surface structure, under 10000x magnification. Razor-sharp edges are visible. Chemical stability, indestructible by strong acids or bases, remaining in the body for life. Asbestos types and toxicity comparison. Asbestos type fiber morphology, carcinogenicity. Main uses: chrysotile curled fibers, asbestos tiles or brake pads. Crocidolite straight needle fibers, insulation materials. Amosite branching fibers, ceiling materials. 1.2 The forgotten architectural toxic tumor. During the 20th century Industrial Revolution, asbestos was widely used for three key properties: fire resistance, melting point of 1/500, known as non-combustible material; thermal insulation, thermal conductivity of only 0.1 Wmk, 1/10 that of wood; economy, as low as $20 per ton, 80% cheaper than steel. Astonishing global usage data. 1960 to 1990, 230 million tons of asbestos produced worldwide. China's stock: over 5 million buildings with asbestos tiles built before 2010. Exposed population: approximately 120 million people who have contacted asbestos-related work. 2. Carcinogenic mechanism: a 40-year latent war from invasion to collapse. 2.1 Steel needle rain in the alveoli. When asbestos tiles crack, fibers are released at a rate of 1,000 per second, invading the body via 1. Nasal filtration failure. 90% of particles 10 m are intercepted by nasal hairs, but asbestos fibers 2.5 m reach the alveoli directly. 2. Alveolar colonization. Fibers pierce alveolar epithelial cells like nails in a balloon. 3. Lymphatic system diffusion. Some fibers reach the thoracic and abdominal cavities via lymph circulation. Lung defense failure experiment. Johns Hopkins University in vitro experiments show 92% lysosome rupture rate in macrophages after asbestos fiber phagocytosis. Silanol groups on fiber surfaces directly damage cell membranes. 5 immune cells die per 1 fiber phagocytosed. 2. To decades-long internal friction war. Asbestosis develops in 3 stages. 1. Silent period 5 to 20 years. Fibers form a protein sheath on alveolar surfaces with no obvious symptoms. 2. Inflammatory period 20 to 30 years. Repeated friction triggers chronic inflammation, causing dry cough and shortness of breath after activity. 3. Fibrotic period 30 to 40 years. Lung tissue gradually scars, reducing respiratory function by 70%. Fiber toxicity kinetics data. Exposure dose latency period pulmonary fibrosis probability. 10 fibers or malaire 25 years 15%. 100 fibers or malaire 15 years 60%. 1,000 fibers or malaire 8 years 95%. 2.3 Deadly mesothelioma attack. Approximately 10% of asbestos-exposed individuals develop malignant mesothelioma. 40-year latency period, the longest latency among cancers. Highly aggressive, average survival of only 14 months. Unique etiology: 90% of mesothelioma is associated with asbestos exposure. 3. Shocking global disaster data. 3.1 Bloodstain statistics in industrial history. Over 300,000 annual deaths worldwide. equivalent to 820 people dying daily from asbestos-related diseases. American 9/11 level. Disaster. 1 in 3. Shipyard workers died of asbestosis between 1940 to 1970. China's status. 2015. Report shows asbestos-related occupational diseases account for 18% of pneumoconiosis. Industry exposure risk comparison. Industry exposure concentration disease onset period mortality rate. Asbestos mining 500 fibers or mol 10 to 15 years 45%. Asbestos tile manufacturing to 100 fibers or mol 15 to 20 years 32%. Construction demolition 50 fibers or mol 20 to 30 years 18%. 3.2 fiber bombs at demolition sites. University of Hong Kong demolition experiments show fiber release volume 300 million fibers released per square meter of asbestos tile demolished. Diffusion range can spread 1 kilometer downwind. Clothing transmission. Worker clothing can carry 1 million fibers home. 3.3 neglected household exposure. WHO household exposure studies find residents of asbestos-tiled houses have 20x higher lung fiber burden than normal. Children ingest 3x more fibers than adults via hand-to-mouth contact. Washing asbestos-contaminated clothes releases 100,000 fibers per load. 4. Current status and potential crisis. Millions of toxic houses behind bans. 4.1 Global ban timeline. 1989, European Union fully bans asbestos. 2002, Japan completes asbestos building renovation. 2010, China restricts but does not fully ban. Relationship between bans and death toll. Country ban year 2020 related deaths decline rate. Sweden 1979 12 cases 98%. United States 1989 2000 cases 75%. Russia unbanned 23,000 cases. 4. To China's million toxic houses crisis. Staggering stock, over 1 million. Asbestos-tiled buildings built before 2000. Renovation progress, only 15% safely renovated by 2023. Illegal demolitions, 2,000 illegal demolitions occur annually. 4.3 Hidden driver of climate change. Chinese Academy of Sciences simulation experiments show acid rain with pH 4 accelerates asbestos fiber release by 3x. Typhoon and rainstorms increase fiber release by 50%. Asbestos exposure incidence due to extreme weather rose 40% in 2020 to 2023. V. Scientific prevention, full process. Guide from identification to emergency response. 5.13 Naked eye identification features. Appearance features. White fiber patterns on the surface. Dull sound knocking sound. Damage features. Silver white fiber filaments visible on fracture surfaces. Age features. Pitched roof buildings constructed before 1990. Simple detection methods. 1. Transparent tape adhesion method. Adhere tape to the surface and observe under a microscope. 2. pH test paper. Drop white vinegar. Asbestos tile surfaces will bubble slowly. 5. Golden rules for demolition work. OSHA U.S. Occupational Safety Agency Demolition Standards. 1. Wet operation. Spray water to maintain humidity. 80% to suppress fiber release. 2. Negative pressure isolation. Maintain 5 Pa. Negative pressure in demolition areas to prevent diffusion. 3. Sealed transportation. Waste is packed in 1M filter bags and transported by dedicated vehicles. Personal protective equipment. Equipment standard function. Gas mask and 95 P100 level filters particles O3M. Chemical suit fully enclosed prevents fiber contact. Boot covers or head covers disposable PE material avoids secondary pollution. 5.3 Daily protection and emergency handling. Daily inspection. Wipe roof gutters with a damp cloth annually to reduce fiber accumulation. Emergency disposal. Cover damage with plastic sheeting immediately. Maintain distance 10 m. Health monitoring. Annual lung function plus chest CT for exposed populations. VI. Life warnings. True stories from victims to survivors. 6.1 Shipbuilder Lau Hang's 40-year latency. 1975 to 1995, cutting asbestos tiles in a shipyard. Exposed to 1 million fibers daily. 2010. Shortness of breath after activity. Lung function 50% of normal. 2015. Diagnosed with asbestosis stage 3, requiring 24-hour oxygen. Medical imaging comparison. Time chest X-ray findings lung function. 1995 normal 85%. 2010 diffuse small nodules 60%. 2020 honeycomb changes 35%. 6.2 Invisible killers in demolition ruins. 2022 Guangzhou demolition incident. 3,000 square meters of asbestos tiles illegally demolished without protection. 12 surrounding residents developed cough symptoms within 2 months. Air testing showed fiber concentration of 500 fibers or mole. Epilogue. Reject the silent killer. When we uncover the deadly veil of asbestos tiles, we can truly safeguard the freedom to breathe. From identifying that weathered roof to supervising every standardized demolition. This is not only consolation for 300,000 lost lives but also a promise to the next generation. Let buildings no longer become tombs of life.